So I think this healing process, you know, we're finally, seeing and accepting that Benjamin is just not my type, and it'll never work out for him and I. It's going on very swiftly, faster than most other healing processes, and I think it's because I've matured. I'm maturing, and that's why I always say to guys who try to get with me, who I'm not interested in, who act as though they're gonna die if I don't allow them to be my man and I don't allow myself to be their woman, is you're not gonna die. I've been told no's before, still being told no's, and I'm still fucking alive. And if you die because I tell you no, that's on you. That's not on me. That's because you're a weak, punk ass nigga. And that's on some real shit. So I've known Benji since about 2016 or 2017, thereabout. Could be 2018. I'm not sure. But it's definitely not later than 2018. And that's when we, our paths crossed. I can't fully remember if it was when I was here in Longville or when I was in Manchester, South Manchester. But I was on, I was awakened to, my spirit and my life purpose, and my the turmoil in my ex-marriage triggered that awakening, and I was undergoing a transformation and awakening, in other words, to what I'm here for, my calling. And there's several. And I was posting like spiritual stuff on my Instagram account, and he messaged me. I don't know how he found me. I don't know, out of thin air he messaged me, and he was asking me, like, am I a light worker? He was like, also that, let me tell you, the devil, I'm not saying Benji is the devil, but the devil sometimes tries to mirror himself to you, to us. He tries to make it seem as though he's family, because there is a strong emotion attached to family, the whole existence of family, and the existence of it, that somebody is a family member, whether it's biological, by adoption, spiritual, there is a bond. And he was like, he's also, from that tribe, light worker tribe and shit like that. And he was like always, trying to, I think, like, ever since, I think, he has this spiritual gift that he's always been manipulating to destroy my connections, my relationships. Because I remember I was with a guy in Manchester. I think Benji approached me before I met that guy, and I think he approached me online on Instagram when I was in Longville. That was before I went to Manchester. That was before I met that guy. Like, we would communicate as friends and so on and so forth. But he always had this sexual fantasy, He had these sexual fantasies of me, of wanting to bang me, wanting to fuck me, to sex me. And he was very verbal about that. And for some reason, there were some feelings that were being formed for him, because, remember what I said about family. There, seems to be some emotional bond that is formed when, someone seems to be a family member of us. Fuck. I just hurt my ear. Someone wants to communicate with me. I'm not sure who it is as that. But, I was with that guy, and I don't know if I mentioned it to Ben that I was seeing someone. Or like I said, his spiritual gift, revealed that to him. But I noticed, shit started happening in that connection. And I'm not gonna lie, it seemed like a lot like black magic that was, fucking around the connection. Like, there's a force trying to keep me and that guy apart. He was also wrongfully imprisoned to keep us apart, because it was a very powerful, like that guy who I was with in Manchester, we had a powerful synergy, a very powerful bond. And there was some force working against, like, to be honest, guys, in the back of my mind, or the side of my mind, or both, there's like a voice that's like constantly telling me that Benji is a demon. He's like a demon in human form, or he is a devil. He, after that relationship ended, I pretty much felt suicidal. I believe I always had bipolar depression, but I believe the ending of that relationship really, really started to reveal the bipolar depression, and I was really depressed. And I don't know, maybe it was his way of pulling me towards him just so he could, have sexual relations with me. But the thing is with me, I'm sexual, but I'm not, what do they call it? I'm not the lewd kind, or I'm not the promiscuous kind, because you can be lewd, I guess, and still be a good girl. I'm not promiscuous. For me, I literally can only get aroused when there's some emotional bond between me and that person. So, there Benji popped into mind. I was like talking to him after the breakup. I wasn't feeling him, I wasn't in love with him, because, like, I found him at first a bit interesting because this is somebody who seemingly resonates with me. I mean, he did say he's a light worker also. But of course, that was in my bio on my Instagram account, So it was, I guess, easy for him to play on. But there's literally like nothing that he does or how he operates that speaks to me that he is actually a light worker, other than him saying he's a light worker, because there's a certain way that light workers operate. For one, I cannot imagine someone who's a light worker to be promiscuous. I don't care what natal aspects you have, or maybe light workers have certain natal aspects, because natal aspects are frequencies. They emit frequencies, frequencies and energies, and that creates people's personalities. Animals' personas. That creates the identity of anything, whether it's a plant, an animal, a human being, whatever object. Okay? So I guess I should have known, because, I did look into his natal chart, and I don't know. I guess I focused on the positive aspects of those traits, the positive traits of those aspects I focused on. That's a typical light worker. We always try to focus on the light side of things and not the darkness in things. And that is why we can be impartial towards people, because we're the light and we illuminate everything, even what's in darkness. But we choose to focus on the beautiful traits, the beautiful aspects, because we want everybody to know that they are capable of being awesome and wonderful and great, in spite of, regardless of their dark sides. Focusing on your dark side is going to make you feel hopeless, useless. People who feel like shit, in turn, treat others like shit. And that's why you don't really want people to feel like shit. Okay? It's not like you're going to suck up to them or kiss their asses. But we're all imperfect, even light workers. So, I think he was way more attracted to me than I was him. And when I was in that relationship with that guy in Manchester, usually when I'm in relationships, I focus, I give that person my undivided attention. I still focus on my children, but in terms of outside of my children, in terms of friendships, I don't even entertain friendships, because for me, my sexual partner is also my, social partner, my intimate partner, my best friend. I literally tell myself I need nobody else. I still value people, I still value others, but I do not entertain myself with others. It's like nobody is I want to say worthy, and it's not in a demeaning, belittling way. It is like nobody can be my somebody, because I already have that somebody, and that somebody is perfect, because I don't focus on their negative. Again, I say focus on their positive. So that relationship ended tumultuously. Maybe in another chapter I will discuss the details of that relationship, but that's not the point now. This is me talking about Ben. I've fallen in love with Ben twice. I gave him chances. I gave him more than 2 chances. There were a few chances in between, but I was never really open to building a connection with him or being with him. It was more like me giving him the benefit of the doubt. Okay? But I allowed myself to fall in love with him twice. And I think the second time, which was recently, when we did have sex, when he came to visit me, that was on Tuesday. Wait, that was last Tuesday. Wow, time goes by so fast. So when he did visit me, we did have sex. I never intended for us to, because it was like, we should go to Salt River. But I think he was just trying to disguise what he really wanted us to do. How devilish of him, right? So anyways, we've only ever had sex twice. And the first time was really, really fucked up. And when I say fucked up, it's not in a good way. It was lame as fuck. But the second time was beautiful. Like, I was somewhat, in my mind, reluctant. But I don't know. Spiritually, I feel like I was led to. You know, even the heartache and the pain, you know, are destined or fated because they teach us. They teach us so many things. Anyways, there's so many reasons why I fell out of love with him the first time and stayed out of love with him. And, you know, but there are a few reasons why I allowed myself to fall back for him. And it was that he actually made the effort after making so many vain promises that he would come and see me. He actually did make the effort to see me. And he seemed really caring. He was rubbing my shoulders in my mother's kitchen like a real sweetheart, you know. But he has this gift that he uses, this spiritual gift that he uses to manipulate and to just manipulate people, circumstances, situations. And when I say this to him, because I'm very straightforward, he denies it. And like through his texts, you know, not vocally, it would be like text responses. And it's like I can literally hear his voice and hear him laughing while denying. And it's like, no, you know exactly what I'm saying. And you know that what I'm saying is true. So I already had prophecies given to me, shown to me, that he's gonna pay for playing with my feelings, for hurting me. There's some people who hurt people just because that's just who they are. They call them, I believe, narcissists. It somehow makes them feel better about themselves. And there's this thing that I posted to my WhatsApp. It was like, some people only want you to be interested so that they can no longer be interested. And it's a very fucked up nature to have. I'm gonna be real. But truly, there are some people who think like that. They're narcissists because they always want to be in control. So, I was here, and a lot of heartbreak because my ex, he was here. He came here, he visited here. He was just passing through, and he stopped here for a reason. And he actually, met these motherfuckers who call themselves family. I say they're not family. My family are my sons and myself. And I'm not being petty. For me, words mean a lot. I'm intense, not too serious, but serious enough. Just the right amount. Balance. So, what really hurt me too is that he actually came here. And I didn't have any intention of introducing Ben to anybody here, because these people aren't my favorite people. Not even the least. And he seemed really interested in going inside of the house. So, I'm not one to, embarrass people for them to feel like, you're not worthy of coming into the house. Or I didn't want him to feel like I was embarrassed, because on a physical vein scale, there's actually nothing really wrong. There's spiritual shit wrong with the house that will soon make themselves apparent. And that do make themselves apparent from time to time. And there will be the grand finale one day, yada, yada, yada. But there was nothing really ashamed of other than the fact that I don't like them motherfuckers. I don't like my mother. I don't like my motherfucking sisters. I don't even like calling them that. Stepfather. I fucking don't. Nephew. I really fucking don't. Because they're toxic. Now, I don't hate them, but I don't give a fuck about them. I don't want them to be a part of my life, and I don't want to be a part of theirs. It's simple as that. There's a point that I felt hatred for them, but I think hatred is way too good for them. I think the best judgment that you can give somebody who is toxic, narcissistic, and cruel is just by not caring about them. Wiping them out of your existence. It is as though they don't exist. I think that's the best. So, he came here. I mean, why? And anyways. Oh, yeah. Because he wanted to. He didn't have to come inside to fuck me. He could have just, let us stay in the car and chat, blah, blah, blah. One thing leads to another. But I think he wanted to touch me. There's something about his hands. And he wanted to create that situation in which he will be able to manipulate my energy. To get me to do that, because he's really not and has never been on the top of the list of guys who I really want to fuck. And I think that really fucked with his ego, which is why another thing, he really wanted to fuck me. Another thing is I think he has something. Something STD-wise. because he's very promiscuous and reckless. It's not just about him being promiscuous, but if he would have had his way, he would have fucked me raw that day. I'm like, who the fuck doesn't want a commitment with somebody, but they want to fuck them raw? Is that what you do to all the bitches you fuck? And I know there are many bitches that he fucks. And I remember listening to a tarot reading some time ago about someone who's in Aries, Scorpio, who's infected with something. She also said something about Aquarius, but Aquarius, I think, is race. Is race because he's Caucasian. So, and I think what really made him want to fuck me is because I'm just not like other black women who he's come across who just wanting to fuck him because he's Caucasian and they want to get knocked up with a mixed baby, or they just, they're just obsessed with him because he's Caucasian and they're self-hating bitches, trifling, self-hating bitches. And I think that was one of the main reasons why I was never attracted to him, because I sensed that heavily about him, that he had this cockiness, this ego, which is why he frequents Jamaica so often, other than possibly spreading something. He visits Jamaica often because he gets a lot of attention here, because a lot of these bitches are stupid and they're numbskulls. And then Fret Friday. Yeah, like that's a phrase here in Jamaica, meaning like somebody who is really, you call like a lot of these celebrity fans Fret Friday. Like they see Beyonce walking by them and all of a sudden they get super excited. What's that other word that I want to use? Okay, let's work with excited for now. They get super excited because they think it's a goddess. They think she's a goddess when she's just another human being. Like they are. I mean, she's gonna die one day. Maybe before they. Maybe before them. So I think a lot of the women here are like that. They are excited for him because a lot of black people, they hate themselves. They hate their complexion. They think that all mixed babies look cute and are adorable, and they look down on babies who are not mixed, especially babies who are close to 100% African descent. It's very shallow, but a lot of people are shallow, and common sense is not that common as we always hear. So I think the mere fact that I wasn't one of those bitches, I think it really fucked with his psyche, and it made him want me more. It was like a pursuit. I don't think he's won anything having had sex with me twice, which I'd probably say once, because the first time doesn't really count. That was lame. Because he couldn't even get an erection the first time. And I was super depressed the first time because I was still stuck on that breakup, It was devastating because the connection was so intense. And the truth is, I've never come across another ninja they're like just two men who I've ever really loved in my lifetime, and these are black men. That guy in Manchester and this Rasta guy who I met in St. Mary, they're like the only two guys that I've ever been in love with. And that sounds fucked up because I've been married before and none of those guys are my ex-husband. And I'm gonna leave that story for another day. Dude, my life is like, I rather do audiobooks. The emotions will not permit me to type or write. I just rather just say what's on my mind. Okay, so I'm outside under the moonlight. Well, kinda. I'm gonna get over Benji. This is like of all breakups. Listen, I don't know if I said this before or if it was when I was talking to the Great Spirit, but the older I get, the more I'm not afraid to say no to men, because I've gotten a lot of no's and I still be getting no's. I don't always get what I want, and I'm still alive. So when a lot of these men, these guys, these boys, because a lot of them are like boys, approach me and be like, acting like they're gonna die if I don't allow them to be my man or don't allow myself to be their woman, I'm like, whatever, okay? Because I've gotten so many no's and still be getting no's, and I'm still alive. So if you want to die, if you want to drink yourself to death or smoke to death because I tell you no, that's on you. I got nothing to do with that, okay? Because when them other people tell me no, they don't care if I drink myself to death or smoke to death. All they care about is themselves and what they want. And the truth is, can I really blame them? I don't think so. Because, a lot of people say they don't want to settle down, they're not ready to settle down, it's too soon, it's too early. But they'll only say that to you when they're not interested in you. They don't find you interesting. Or they may find you interesting, but there is something lacking. There's something that you don't have that is striking to them to make them want to settle down with you. Trust me. Because I turned out a lot of guys who were like, they're ready to settle down, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't want a relationship right now. I want to be single. I want to be free. But the truth is, I would settle down, just not with them. And that really, Ben really opened my eyes to that. He really did. I had this vision of, readers have told me, and I know the readings are about him pretending like he doesn't love me, doesn't really want a relationship. I don't know, maybe it's his mom. One reader said someone's mother is influencing them against a connection. She's married to a black man, but I don't know, maybe she doesn't want him to, be married to a black woman. So it's really fucked up. It's like, are you racist? But how could you be racist and you're married to a black man? Is it that you were just using him? Is it that you're using him? Is it that you're only married to a black man because you have this vendetta against black women? which would perfectly explain why you don't want your son to settle down with me. But I'm not going to put the blame on her. I'm just, throwing this out as a possibility, in regards to some of the readings that I've listened to. Because we know a lot of these black men, they hate themselves, okay? And they worship women from other races, apart from the black race, okay? The things they're willing to do for a woman, of other races, they're not willing to do for black women. And then they say the black woman is ungrateful, the black woman is lazy, the black woman, isn't a go-getter, when they don't help us to acquire opportunities that they do for women of other races. You know what I mean? It's a load of bullshit. But it's not about his mom and her relationship, okay? It is about him. And I understand, to be honest, why he is the way he is his natal aspects, Sun in Aries, Moon in Aries. I mean, Aries rules the first house, self, ego. The fourth house is what you love. The fifth house is what you're passionate about. Connect the dots. He loves himself more than anybody else, more than anything else. He's passionate about himself. And he is definitely the type of man who will not settle down until he's waxed old and is useless to a woman. Yeah. He's definitely that type of man. He is not gonna offer any woman any form of or sense of stability until his stability is worthless. It's really fucked up, but those are his aspects. I told him my mind. I told him, I know you've been sabotaging my connections, because that's what my intuition tells me. And I'm gonna speak that safe. It's good to let people know, their fuckery. Sometimes, if they have anything about them, any dignity or integrity about them, they will stop out of shame of being exposed, Because I'm like, you don't want to settle down with me. You don't want to offer me any form of commitment. But at the same time, you don't want me to be with anybody else. You keep sabotaging my relationships. Please stop doing that shit. Paraphrasing. So, yeah. I'm not obsessed with him. It's just, he did something to me to get me to sleep with him, to have sex with him that day. And for me, sex is really intimate. I don't know how to sell my pussy. I don't know how to, because for me, how the fuck am I gonna open myself up to a dozen men who will not offer me stability because they just want to purchase some pussy? How can I allow myself to open up to them men just for the sake of money and at the expense of my heart? What the fuck is this? I don't know how to do that shit. Yeah, I could sell my pussy, but to one ninja. Yeah, one ninja who's offering me a form of stability. Yeah. I'll be your wife. I'll be the mother of your children. Pay me for that shit. Because I guarantee you that nobody's going to take your place unless you give that to them. Unless you decide that, okay, I can trust you no longer. You're a douchebag. You're a coward who preys on the seemingly weaker vessel, who preys on the woman by abusing and assaulting her. Then you give up that place. Yeah. So because I call me babes and all of that for days. For a long time. Well, for days. Because like he called me one day and he was like, he's not with that girl who he was with. I don't know if she's his baby mom or his wife or both. Or none. Just his woman. He says he got one kid. A son. I just think he's God. I think he's got more than one kid. I think that's a fucking lie. I mean, he's a Gemini rising. They got the propensity to lie. And the way how he's promiscuous and reckless too. I don't think unless he's had a vasectomy. Okay, well that could maybe explain it, but I've done readings for him, spiritual readings, and things got a bit professional between us after the first falling in love, me realizing that he has a toxic ex who he seems to be in a continuous cycle with, and I didn't want to be a part of that, and I moved on, fell in love with that Rasta guy, and I guess he was pissed about that, but he hid the fact that he was pissed about that. I mean, he's a moon in Aries, they're good for that shit. Maybe this was a get back, I guess. But karma is real, and he's not allowed to hurt me because I chose to move on with somebody else, because he is toxic and I don't want to say something out of anger. Let me just say, I was not obligated to him. He was in a relationship. Therefore, I had no obligations to him. No obligation. Okay, I was free to do what I wanted because, hey, he was not going to be there for me. Okay, his obligation was to someone else. And I wasn't mad. Disappointed, but I wasn't mad. And I decided to pick myself up, get out of that state of depression, and move on. And Spirit, put somebody in my path, and that was a new connection. But the rest, the guy in St. Mary, who's from St. Mary, I had to tell him my mind. I could tell he was a bit ashamed. I can tell I'm maturing, I'm telling people off a lot less now, unless really necessary to do so. I'm no longer burning bridges with people. I'm allowing motherfuckers to burn them bridges. I'm not burning any more bridges. I'm allowing people to do that. And the ones who I think were really toxic, I just stop I just stop talking to them. I'm not blocking people anymore, left, right, and center. I'm not gonna find the deepest, most hurtful things to say to them to really, burn a bridge. I leave them, let them hurt me. I speak my truth, and I move on. I don't leave them to hurt me. Like I allow them to do what their inner nature wants them to do, and based on that, they stay or they go. So their inner nature allows them to burn a bridge between them and I, then fine. I have no control over what people choose to do. Sometimes we don't even have control over what we choose to do. And I can't be upset, because one day I already am glad that shit didn't work out between me and all those men, but there's going to be a grand day in season, and even for the rest of my life, in which I am going to be really grateful and happy that shit didn't work out for me and those men, any of them, on some real shit. There's going to be that day. I can feel it. I can sense it. I was super pissed too, because I was like, I am happy I didn't allow him to fuck me raw, because I don't even know what he has. STD-wise, I don't know. He could have some venereal, sexually transmitted disease. I don't know. He's wild, untamable, and reckless. And the truth is, if he doesn't got some STD, I would be more shocked to find out that he doesn't than to find out that I would be more shocked to find out that he does have a STD than to find out that he doesn't, to be honest. But I was like, and I think that was the real reason why I did not want to have unprotected sex with him, because I don't trust him. He's way too flirtatious and sexually driven and reckless. You don't know who I've been fucking, but at the same time, you want to fuck me raw. Why? You don't know if I'm cautious or it doesn't even matter how cautious you are as a person. Shit can still happen. So you don't even know if shit happened, and you were just willing to fuck me raw. How many other women have you done that to, Ben? I don't fucking know, because you're always on the go. You're always doing shit. He's always doing shit. But this healing process seems to be going by way faster than I thought it would, and that, and then others. Because what really aids me, I saw this post on Facebook, and I was thinking about it, and it's like God speaking to me, Spirit speaking to me through all these posts, and it was like, I'm gonna paraphrase. It's like when you're a good person, when you're a real person, you're truthful, you're honest, you keep it real 100%. You don't lose people. People lose you. You know? And thinking on that, not just on that, not solely on that, but just thinking overall, I'm like, I did not lose Ben. I did not lose those other men. They lost me. I mean, I am such a rich, vibrant, loving, magnificent soul, person, being. I'm drama free. Okay? I'm drama free personified. I'm very mature, but I'm also super fun. I have a beautiful, somewhat, sometimes innocent, sometimes crazy, lewd sense of humor. I'm smart. I'm beautiful. I'm honest. I'm empathic. I'm caring. I'm loving. I'm also one who's got self-respect. I respect myself. Okay? I value people. I always see the light in people, regardless of their socioeconomic backgrounds, their social statuses, their physiques. I always see the best in them. I always allow myself to see the best in people. Despite the many heartaches and heartbreaks I've experienced, I've never allowed any bad moment or thing or experience to taint my perspective or perception of the world. I am still a happy-go-lucky, gleeful person. And no heartbreak will ever change that, because that's just not my nature. We cannot be anything apart from our nature. Yeah, sad times, they do come, but they also go. They also go. I don't know if I mentioned that I have bipolar depression, and so sometimes the lows, they're stronger than other times. Sometimes the highs are higher than other times. But I'm never sad for too long. And me not being happy forever too is a blessing to humble me. I find the older I be getting, the more sensitive I become, and the more my bipolar depression affects me. So I've decided to have this verbal diary, sharing my experiences with you guys. Some of you may resonate, with some of my experiences. And it's nice when we can listen to others and I don't know, just realize that you're not the only one who's going through shitty times. But back on Ben, I'm happy I didn't allow him to fuck me raw, because I could have caused something. Two, I could have gotten pregnant. And what's really also helping me to move on from him is really seeing how much of a douchebag he is. Because how can you, like, really and truthfully, how can you throw your seed anywhere and everywhere? I mean, I'm not gonna feel flattered that you chose to fuck me raw and knock me up, possibly knock me up with a kid. Because you would literally make me into a single mother. That's what I see. Because you don't want a commitment, but you want to fuck me raw and possibly get me pregnant without creating a commitment, a committed relationship with me. I mean, what's the dealio with that? Why the fuck would you want to do something like that? Pretty much that tells me you don't care about your offsprings that dwell within your testicles. You really don't care about building stable homes for your offsprings, and that means you're a douchebag, a shitty father already. I mean, even if you didn't already get a kid, I mean, you're shitty. And the other thing, he told my mother he's 42, and yet he told me he was born in 1976, which would make him 46, not 42. Like I said earlier, I'm not one to embarrass people, so I wouldn't be like, I low-key was like, low-key, very unnoticeably, but very unnoticeably. But I'm like still, I was a bit shocked more than anything else, because I'm like, why the fuck is he hiding his age? Maybe, okay, them knowing he's 46, knowing that he's white, 13, about 13 years my senior. Maybe he didn't want to seem that bad, but I mean, like, it's not like he wants a commitment with me, so like, why fucking hide your age? You ashamed, afraid that you're almost 50 years old? And I mean, like, to each his own. I mean, relationships aren't for everybody. Marriages aren't for everybody. Because the honest truth is, I'm skeptical about going down the aisles again, about getting married again. But like I said, that's only to the wrong person, or to somebody who I just don't believe would be the right match for me. But it's 46, going on 50, still playing the fields. That's fucked up. That's why I said earlier, a lot of these men, as long as they have enough strength and vigor to fuck around, that's what they're gonna do. And when they no longer have the strength and vigor to fuck around, then they want to settle down. Then they want a pretty little young thing who's got her whole life ahead of her to live and experience, to tie her up, to put her in bondage, bound to them, bound by their side. Because like, they be like watching these pretty young things, like, because they don't want them screwing anybody else, when they spent their younger years playing the fields, screwing Jane, Suzanne, and Sam. Because like, we know some of them, they go both ways, as well as Sam is, a unisex name. So what's the dealio? And it really makes me, because like, there was a point in time I was intrigued by, age gap relationships in which the men are older than the women. And now I find myself thinking differently and having a different, feeling towards those age gap relationships, because I'm like, so you fucked yourself out to the point in which you're not fucking useful anymore. You're most likely impotent. But you want a pretty little young thing to stay by your side. You don't even want to allow her to be in an open relationship with you, in which she's allowed to fuck other people and enjoy her youthful years. You want her to be stuck in bondage, tied by your old ass side. Why? And I'm like, I know he's gonna come around. He's a Gemini rising. They're very wishy-washy. They have two minds. And if you think a sun in Gemini is wishy-washy, try dealing with a Gemini ascendant or someone who's got their Mars in Gemini. They're horrible. Someone who's a Gemini rising, they're worse than somebody who's a sun in Gemini. I mean, sun in Gemini, they act out their dualism, but a Mars or rising or ascendant in Gemini is more of how they function and how they move. Theirs is more internal. They'll tell you they're in love with you today and they want to commit, and tomorrow they tell you that you think you both need to slow down, you're moving too fast, and they're not ready to commit. And they're going to do it in, subtle ways, but if you got enough sense, they're going to communicate these messages to you indirectly, because remember, they're two-minded, but they don't want to be seen as two-minded, okay? Because then it's going to be so obvious, and you're going to be like, but yesterday you said this, and today you're now saying, yesterday you said that, and today you're now saying this. So they will be like, okay, they'll call you honey, they'll call you babe, they'll even call you wife to be. And tomorrow they'll be like, what would they say? Tomorrow they'd be like, y'all need to get to know each other some more. That type of shit. But that's pretty much them indirectly saying that, hey, they're not ready to settle down. In terms of Ben and I, they will be like, okay, that relationship I was with is over, blah blah blah. I think you and I should double up. Maybe it's time for you and I to double up. Some shit like that, he said. And, starts calling babe, blah, blah, blah. But when you start hitting them with some serious questions and some serious talk, then they'll come with some shit like, they don't want to rush things. They want to, they don't want to rush the commitment thing. Y'all still getting to know each other. And it's really fucked up, but, that's them being two-minded. And the more I think about it, I'm now realizing, and really remembering why I lost interest in him. He's very childish, he's a fucking liar, and manipulative. So now I'm remembering why I lost interest in him and fell out of love with him. And trust me, it doesn't take long for me to learn. He's gonna come back around, but I'm telling you, when he does, he's gonna feel 1,000,000 times the pain and heartache he caused me. Because then he's gonna realize that, I was the one for him and he blew it. Because I'm not stupid. There's no fucking way I'm gonna sit down and waste my life fucking waiting on you to fuck around and enjoy yourself the way you think enjoyment should be before you decide to commit to me. Fuck you. I'm 33 and I'm getting older every day. I'm not gonna waste my time waiting on some ninja. You could spend 10 years getting to know somebody, and the moment you guys get married, you get divorced. And you could just meet somebody tonight and hook up tonight and spend the rest of your lives together. So you don't tell me about time and getting to know. Listen, I'm just not what you want. That's what I tell them ninjas when I'm not interested in them and I know and see they're not what I want. I'm not stupid. You're like pretty much using the same game that I play. You're playing the same game on me, the game that I know so well, the game that I created. Don't do that shit. It's quite insulting. I mean, it's not insulting when I use it on them ninjas. Because at first I didn't know that's what I was doing. But now that I acknowledge that that's definitely what I was doing, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm just going to be like, you're just not my type. Because like I said, I always try to be honest on some real shit. I'm going to be like, you're just not my type. No more it's going to be, I'm not ready to settle down or I want my freedom. Because I do want to be coupled with someone. I do want to grow old with someone. I want to build memories with someone. Yeah, there's this other quote that I saw was like, you have to learn to love yourself. Paraphrasing again, maybe it said to enjoy your own company because no one's gonna stay forever, and that's fucking true. That's true. But I think I've learned that lesson of getting used to my own company. Love being by myself. Now I think it's time for me to reintegrate, into couplehood, into a relationship. We're here to experience, not to imprison ourselves, not to be stuck alone. I mean, for some people, that's their path. That's not mine. My intuition tells me that's not my path. Okay? I have so much love inside of me. I cannot keep all this love and goodness to myself. I gotta share it. Share it with my sons. Share it with others. Okay? Yeah. So, plus I have sexual desires. I want to be intimate. I want to be intimate with somebody. So, I am going to be intimate with somebody. I'm going to be sexual. I have the nature. I'm not going to deny myself. I'm going to protect myself in doing so, in experiencing, and exploring my sexual desires. But I'm going to explore them nonetheless. The fuck is this? In a healthy way. And the other thing, if I call something, I know who the fuck gave it to me, because can you believe that ninja forced his dick into my pussy halfway? Half fucking way. I mean, why was he so fucking adamant? I mean, I get it a lot with guys. I mean, it's like my vagina casts spells on people. Man, I hate being turned down. I think this is something I am just, and especially by somebody who's been pursuing me. It's always the ones who pursue us the most, who's got that hunger, that that starvation kind of hunger for us, who play us in the end. That shit hurts, and it sucks. It fucks. It's just despicable. But he is gonna come back. He is gonna want some relationship commitment. Maybe that's gonna be after he contracts something, really contracts something, if he hasn't already. But you won't ever get a third chance with me. They say third time's the charm. Fuck that shit. A nigga won't get 3 strikes with me. The most he's gonna get is 2. Okay? 2. And the shame is already on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The fuck I'm gonna get double shamed for? Not. I'm not gonna allow that to happen. So, it's douches. It's deuces. Yeah, deuces, motherfucker. So I think this healing process is going by really fast because I'm seeing that, he isn't worth shit. The fuck is he worth? No, he's not worth anything. He's not worth anything. He's a man whore. And I've always told myself I do not want to be with a man whore. I just don't. A lot of these men are like, they don't want to be with chicks who a lot of niggas been with. I don't want to be with a nigga who a lot of chicks been with. Especially the types of chicks too. Some of these dirty fat and Friday gal numbskulls who have no self-worth or value of self. The fuck? I have no fucking interest in pulling their energies. I've done enough of that shit. I'm done. So I was pretty much talking to God, and in the midst of talking to God, I'm like, I'm gonna do a verbal diary. Yeah, so some of the shit was like regurgitated things in, words that communicated, the spirit, God. I was like, I was gonna go on TikTok live, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm sleepy right now, and I want to sleep. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep, that is what I'm gonna do right now. Take a nap. I actually wanted to watch Lucifer, the series, that Netflix series. I don't think my eyes are gonna allow me to watch anymore for the rest of the morning. Fuck, it's 1 a.m. You hear the yawns? I'm yawning like crazy. Eyes are running water. Eyes are pretty sleepy. I gotta go to sleep. So I'll catch you guys in a few. I mean, like, that nigga ain't shit. I also wrote a song in regards to my feelings to him. It was a beautiful love song. And, I actually, titled it. It was like 2 or 3 question marks. a smile emoji, and to Ben with love. Of course, I changed that name. I removed the to Ben with love. And I did another song. It's also about him. Yeah. And my songs are usually prophecies. My songs are usually prophecies. They're like, he ain't gonna miss my beat until my beat's not his anymore. So check out my YouTube channels, my music channel. Well, both there are two of them, but I haven't uploaded anything to Queen Sia. I'll put the links below in a while. But I'll be uploading to Queen Sia Music. Queen space Sia, CIA space music. Okay. That one too is like 3 question marks smiley emoji. Yeah, I think the smiley emoji is a bit different because this one, the most recent one is with the colon. The other one was with the semicolon. So there's actually somebody who liked the song. I don't know if it was that asshole. I didn't send it to him. I didn't share the link with him unless he's like reading my statuses, anonymously, How creepy is that? Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. It doesn't make sense these guys force me. Once I just see you as not worthy of me being with, of me calling you my man, or you calling me your woman, it just doesn't make any sense. Just leave me alone. That's just how I see it. But I'm free from whatever spell you put on me. Yeah. Anyway, so peace out, guys.